Mambition moments. Mambition moments. It's your girl, Tiffany. That's right. Guys, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm just excited because it's been an eventful day for me so far. It's just after 12, and I think I've walked over 10,000 steps. I know, insane, because no kids today. They're with the grandparents, and not only that, but I've managed to get to the gym, and I've managed to walk as well and sort of be by myself for a bit. It's been really nice. So I think I'm bringing that energy to you guys. I'm like, yes, 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 we're bringing some joy. And that ties in really well with the topic I am going to talk about today, which is this idea of lowering your joy threshold. Because now all it's taken for me to be so joyful today is getting to the gym and walking quite a lot. And the truth is, my children are teaching me to lower my joy threshold and to be more blown away by smaller things rather than bigger things, right? Because I've mentioned before that I have a 2 and a 4 year old, and they've definitely recalibrated what joy looks like because their threshold for joy is so low. Now, the thing about us as adults is that we've made joy something we have to work really, really hard for. As adults, it has to be like a big achievement, like, I don't know, a promotion at work, or a new car, bigger house, bigger paycheck, going on holiday. It has to be like something super huge to actually be happy or have joy. We want to be blown away. It has to be spectacular. It has to be like, oh my God. But we miss joy happening in the smaller things, because if we're constantly waiting to have joy based on the bigger milestones and bigger moments, then we miss the smaller things. Because think about it, I think where it's actually easier to be frustrated and annoyed and angry, like that in itself, you only need something small, like something happens, you're like, oh, I'm having a bad day or whatever. But why do we have such a threshold for being frustrated and angry? But when it comes to being joyful, it has to take a lot. It can't be something small. And I think if we can switch those two, I think we'd have more would live better lives, just in terms of much more at peace and much more joyful moments. Because my children, they are easily amazed, they're easily delighted, they're easily like inquisitive. All it takes is for us to see a fire engine, and it's made like their day. They could be talking about that the whole day. We see a fire engine, we're like, Nina, Nina. We stop, we wave at the fire engine. The team waves back at us, and we're like, oh my God, it's a fire engine. And then we say, I wonder where it's going. I wonder what fire they're going to put out. What do you think they're going to have a hose, and they have a roof, and they're going to, have a ladder? And that's all it takes for my children to be happy. And even sometimes when I'm taking my son to reception, we have 10, 15 minutes to get there, but on the way there, he spots something and he's just so distracted and wants to see that thing. And it's teaching me, I think it's teaching me to kind of notice things more. And it helped me to, like I said, shorten that process for joy and notice the small things that actually makes me realize I don't need a huge win to be blown away. If it's small, it's easy. It actually means I'm living a lot more of a balanced lifestyle, a balanced life, rather than looking for the bigger moments. Because when you think about it, the other day I was going for a walk and I just looked at the skyline and I saw how beautiful the sky was, and I thought, wow. And I actually beamed. And I realized I'm getting that for my children. That's not something I had before, because I think I would have not considered it to be something so momentous. But because of how they see the world and how easily they find joy, I'm starting to now have that fresh eyes of constantly looking for things interesting around me. The other day I was walking as well, and I kind of looked down this road, and the way the street looks and the way the sun hits it, I thought, oh, that's really beautiful. And I smiled. And again, it's just finding things to smile about, finding things to be curious about, and finding these small moments, I think, throughout the day, throughout ordinary day. And I think that's what makes life worth living, because it's bringing all these moments together that you then begin to find thread of joy and happiness without waiting until the future, or where you win something big, or when you get somewhere that you want to at the end of the rainbow. And I just think as adults we have completely lost that. And, because when I think about it, I always thought that my children needed to learn something from me, but actually they're teaching me about joy. They're teaching me about seeing the same old things with fresh eyes. Like pre-children, if I saw a fire engine, I wouldn't have taken enough notice to think how wonderful it is that there's an engine that saves lives and has all this equipment that is pretty fascinating. And there's a team on there that's dedicating their lives to risking their lives to save other people. But from my children's perspective of it being this novel thing, we've managed to make it novel and interesting. So when we see it now, it's so incredible and worth stopping to look at. And that small interruption to the day, I think if you get enough of that, you can string it together for a great day, for a great week, and for a great month, for a great year, for a great life. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So I think, I know it's easily said and done. I know that obviously, we all have ups and downs in life, and sometimes we're going through certain chapters where it's hard to find joyful things. But I really think it's about putting things like this into practice. So I challenge you to try it. I mean, try and notice maybe 2 or 3 small things that will bring you micro joy. Micro is all you need. You don't need one big joy. You just need one small micro joys, and if you string them together, you'd be happy. And also remember that joy is not something you can earn. Joy is not something that comes with a certain chapter of life, because if you're waiting to get it at a certain chapter of life, then your situation might change by the time you get to that chapter, that you might not actually be able to then enjoy that joy that you were sort of saving up. And yeah, overall, just lower your threshold. You'll always find joy somewhere. Trust me, I do now. That's it, guys. So thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, Mambition Moments. If you are enjoying this episode, don't forget to like, share, comment, share, and let other people know that we're here and we are sharing and walking this journey of motherhood with you. Thank you, and see you on the next one.